energy. This is what I'm talking about for all of our BMX fans around the world. This is where BMX is celebrated.
Oh yeah, it's the most insane feeling ever. I can't believe it, FISE. You blow my mind again. 20 years, I wish I was here for every 20 years.
And a twister! Oh my word, Nick Weber! He's going to be looking for that top spot. Wow.
Backside 3, frontside 540.
Have you ever seen an audience that size at an action sports event, at any single sporting event apart from the mainstream? I do not think so.
Everybody for joining us around the world. This has been one heck of a contest, but we're just getting started for 2017. We hope to see you at a future stop. We want to thank you for joining us, and until next time. The FISE World Series represents the premier action sports event, not only for the top-level riding, but...
Oh my goodness!
Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. That's right. Look at that amazing view. You aren't mistaken. That is the beautiful coastline of Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. And we are located right on the Red Sea for this amazing opportunity to showcase the FISE World Series 2018 and have its first host launch event out here in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Thanks so much to our sponsors, the GSA, the General Sports Authority of the KSA, for bringing action sports out to Saudi Arabia. And we are about to get underway. The qualifications for the Roller Freestyle Park Pro out here. I'm Ryan Meyer, joined by none other than Freddie White. Freddie, thanks so much for joining me up here in the box.
Well, thank you for having me. Welcome everyone to this wonderful course of the FISE World Series 2018 launch event in Jeddah.
Yeah, it's super cool to have an event come out here to Saudi Arabia. They're not used to having so much action sports, but let's take a look at some other venues that we'll be rolling out to. Like I said, this is the launch event, so it's not actually part of the series. We're just doing a showcase. Our first event at the FWS is going to be in Japan. For our first time ever, we are going to Hiroshima, April 6th to 8th. Montpellier, where everything started 21 years ago, May 9th to 13th. Then we're going to be rolling over to Canada, all the way across the Atlantic to Edmonton, July 13th to 15th. Then followed in September, we have a little break, then September 7th to 9th, we're going to be in Budapest, Hungary. That was just confirmed the other day, so very excited to go back to Budapest. An amazing time there last year. And of course, finishing off the tour like we do every year in Chengdu, China, November 2nd to 4th. Make sure you guys mark all 5 of those dates on your calendar. Make sure you're available and ready to watch online if you are not able to join us in the live audience. But if you can't join us, like I said, in the live audience, catch us online. You can check us out at FISE.tv, like us on our Facebook page, FISE.official, or our Twitter and Instagram handles at FISE World, as well our Snapchat, FISE World Series. And make sure during the whole entire roller coaster of events, you hashtag your posts and stay connected with us. For this event in particular, hashtag FISE Saudi, and then as well for hashtag FISE Jeddah. So as we had the parkours down here, you see the sun has set. If you're watching some of the other broadcasts earlier today, you notice that it was a pretty different scenario. We're on a beautiful sandy beach right at the Red Sea with this amazing sun blistering over the athletes. 35 to 40 degree temperatures Celsius. Now the sun is down. It's a little cooler, but as well, we have the lights out on the course. How is this for the roller athletes?
I would say this is pretty amazing because it's, as you said, very hot during the day. So I guess it will bring more audience. It's easier to watch without getting sunburned. And for the athletes themselves, it will be much easier to skate and perform on a very high level.
So it's a shared BMX course. I mean, it's a shared course with the BMX athletes as well. So you notice the BMX athletes were just racing over the whole entire box course here, but I did notice yesterday there was a little issue with condensation. I mean, it's a very humid country that we're in, and especially right down here at the sea. When the sun goes down, the ramps are still hot, you have the humidity drop, so there's still some, let's say, the ramps can tend to get a little slippery for the inliners. I haven't noticed that yet, and people look very comfortable on course, but that is something as well that the athletes will have to watch out for as we roll through the contest here.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about format. How is the format of the actual contest going to look?
Well, we got 12 riders on the course, and they will all have 3 runs, and very simple this time. The very best run counts for the overall ranking. So that's going to be one after the other. The 12 of them go, and then we pick up the first one again, and we go.
Okay, so then that does it for format. We have, we have athletes from all over the world, but as well to critique those athletes, we have 3 amazing judges. Walk us through who these gentlemen are.
We got Maxime Genoux from Switzerland on the left side, Anthony Avella, a French legend, in the center, and Blake Bird, another London OG, on the right side. They all have been in the sport for a very long time, and they all know what they like. So it's going to be a good combination of judges, I feel. Interesting to see Mr. Avella also judging. He's been competing for 20 plus years. He's been to every event in the sport, so it's going to be interesting. As for the criteria, there's like a handful of criteria that we have here written down on paper. I guess the most important thing to remember is it's a combination of everything. So it's not just the technical difficulty or the amplitude, but it's a mix of the use of the park, the creativity that you can bring to such a course, how you link tricks together. The lines are really important. I think the judges really want to see well-connected and well-constructed runs. So this is a big course. It's a very huge structure for small wheels. So the consistency, I think, is going to be one of the key elements on this event.
If I'd be co-hosting right now with AJ, he'd be talking about frame sizes, wheel sizes. You want to get into some technical aspects?
Technical aspects, I guess. Well, first of all, shout out to AJ. He's not here today, but yeah, he will be the specialist when it comes to wheel size. What's really
Yeah, we can talk about this in a second. Let's just look at who the athletes are going to be right now. Scott Quinn from the UK.
Montreal Livingston from the United States, Anthony Potier from Belgium, Nicolas Sevy from France, CJ Wellsmore from Australia, Diego Guillot from Switzerland, Tomek Prisbilik from Poland, Joe Atkinson from the UK as well, Romain Abrat, Yuma Baudouin, and Julien Cadeau, the top 3 from last year's World Series, from France, all of them.
Those are, I believe, 11 athletes we had in there, and we're just getting ready to start the opening ceremonies down there for the roller athletes. We were talking about, I don't know, let's talk about like wheels, bearings, wheel diameter, frame size, skates, what's new in the scene.
What's new in the scene? Probably different wheel diameters, but everyone's rolling with their very own specific setup. I think the most important difference is how many wheels you have on your skates. Flat setup means you have 8 wheels touching the ground at all time, which means you have a lot more speed. It's easier to maintain speed. You have more reactivity on your skates. So I would take it that it's an advantage for such a course. However, if you take the top 3 riders on this list, they're all getting only 4 wheels down. I have no technical explanation for that. It's an absolute mystery, but it's a testimony to the stamina and the energy they have on skates. But now we have Scott Quinn on screen. The man from Scotland, the Flying Scotsman. It was a big transfer.
Going heavy. The judges as well are going to really want to see utilization of the entire course. Oh.
I guess if you jump out of the course, it doesn't score that many points, but it's a cool one for the wow factor. Thanks, Quinny, for this first run. I guess he'll have to do a little better on the second one. But he's got it. He's got those tiny legs, but he's got a lot of power, and he's one to watch out for sure.
Quinny gonna finish off the rest of his run out here. Like I previously said, for many of the courses that we have, they're shared with multiple disciplines and different athletes. This course in particular out here, unlike the skateboard course where they have a separate street course for different transition reasons, this is shared with the BMXers. So you notice actually the ramps are quite large. For inliners, it's very large radiuses within the transition. I think that means that they just have to have a lot more speed to carry through, but what's that from your opinion?
I would say not only do you have to get speed, but you have to maintain it throughout the whole course for 50 seconds, which is the hardest part, I guess. Like the physical aspect on such a course really makes a difference. But the smile is also an important factor, and Montre is king at smiling. So this is going to be an interesting one. I'm not sure which setup he's riding today, but you can be sure he's going to go big right now.
Okay, Montre.
Couple of small transfer to get started, and 360 on this big ass box.
Ooh.
Big wall ride.
Super high up on the wall there.
But yeah, as you can see, it's not that easy to just bounce all over the place without having to take a break at some point. Like on smaller wheels, it definitely makes a difference. Oh, a little dark side through top side. Porn star. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say the name on TV in Saudi Arabia, but
we're fine with all names.
Okay.
It is the FISE after all.
Yeah, it's part of the culture. It's part of rollerblading. It has a weird vocabulary.
You guys at home have to endure some prayer time. We had to go through a couple other events where, through the local culture, have some other pauses throughout the day, and Saudi Arabian culture has to, or I think comes in open arms, welcomes all types of action sports right here.
We've been welcomed amazing so far. I must say I was really surprised is not the right word, but I prepared for something else, and then I've been surprised by how welcoming the people were here.
It was a complete, I'm lost for words for a second, but it was.
Hey, that's your language after all. Don't expect a Frenchman to tell you.
I was taken back, let's say. I was taken back by how hospitable and, you know, kind of, you have these judgments. Ooh, wow, all the way around.
Meanwhile, Potier is bringing lots of power on this course. He's also used to bigger wheel setup. He has his own set of frames that he's making by himself in Belgium. It's all Belgium-made, high-quality stuff, and that might be the right toys to play with on this course.
You can see those are very different frames than the other athletes have.
Yeah, it's bigger wheels. It's a rockered system, which means all the wheels don't have the same size, but it's to maximize the speed you can get with those. And so far, you can see how easy it is for him to just go up on the biggest obstacle on the course, while it looks like he's just chilling. All right, that was a good first run. a bit more chill than what he's used to. He's just won the winter class this year, last month, for the second time in a row. I think it's a first in the history of this event.
Wow. In Eindhoven at
The wonderful
which park is that?
Area 51 skate
Area
park,
51. That's right. Yes.
which is a very hospitable place. I must say, it's run by skateboarders, and they welcome us with open arm every year as well. And they made it like the best event in the best core event in rollerblading, thanks to our friend Johannes.
Yes. Shout out to Yo-Yo.
Johannes, if you hear us, we love you. Oh, and here is Nicolas Servis, only 19 years old, from France. He's a very young guy, but he's already been on a pro competition circuit for 3 years. He's got lots of power, and I think he's one of the guys you might have to watch out for on this course. Starting from the very top of the biggest wall, let's see what this guy has in store.
Ready to drop in.
And as you can see, only 2 wheels down on each skate, so that's 4 wheels total if the mathematics is correct. And that makes it complicated on such a course, so if you don't have the legs, you might as well not drop in at all. Disaster topsoul around the curve to start things off. And a big flat spin 3. Whoa, all the way back to the top of the wall. See, it might look easy on your screen, but that's actually really, really hard to do.
Wow, and he carries such good speed.
He's got the speed and he's got the tricks. That's a really solid line so far, and he still has time to say hi to the TV crew. And that was a big 900 transfer on the step up. That's a lot of tricks already he's done in the past 40 seconds. He's got 10 more to go. And yes, like undoubtedly, that's the best run we've seen so far. Finish things off with a backflip. That was
Very
a
strong.
lot to take in, yeah?
Very, very strong.
So see, I guess that's a good example of what the judges might want to see. It's a big combination of everything. He's got big tricks, technical stuff. He goes high, he has amplitude, but at the same time, he links all the tricks together in one smooth line, and that's I think that's how you win a contest, actually.
We utilize all the same ramps at each of the FISE stops. These ramps travel around with FISE World Series to every single location that we go to. That's probably the most unique part. And yes, you are right. Stepping it up with an 86.66 onto the very top of the box right now. You have a new leader.
And yeah, he might remain on top for a little while. Let's see what the other guys have in store, but that's a really, really solid score so far. So that's his first run. He has 2 more to go, which means the other have quite a little bit of pressure on their shoulders now.
Who's that guy?
That's CJ!
Hey, CJ! CJ's in the house.
CJ from Australia, one of the long-standing athletes on this on the FISE course, and he is absolutely amazing. A little ball of energy. Look at this big 360 transfer.
Oh!
Flying all the way to the big wall and carving that cupping as well. Amplitude style. You can see he's freestyling this whole thing with this big abstract 5. Oh, and trying to hype up the crowd. Yeah, you can hear them scream. Everybody's screaming for CJ. Oh, that's a little miss. 10 more seconds to go.
He's a crowd pleaser. He knows how to get them riled up.
He definitely likes the attention, but not in a show-off way. He just feeds off the energy that people send. Whoa, that was very nice. Bit of a sketchy landing, but that was a really nice hand flip 360 on the fun box, and I can tell you there's not many people on this course today that can do this. Alright, that was a solid first run for CJ. He can definitely improve on this one, but that was a good way to start things off.
And it's so great to see
Same,
you.
like
Yes, CJ.
you can see the stamina that carries him through the whole course for this 50-second run. 50 seconds, it is really long time on this type of structure. Little smile for CJ, and he got 76.6 points. Can definitely improve on that one though. But yeah, interesting to see how the judges are gonna work on this. Like it's a tough job. I'm really happy, and I guess everybody would say it, but I'm really happy, me personally, not to be sitting as a judge on this course today.
I don't think anyone is ever like, oh man, I wish I could give up my commentator position to go judge right now. I don't think anyone ever wants that.
Actually, I did say this a few years back, and maybe that was not the wisest the wisest call I've ever made.
Well, you said you would rather do judging than commentary? Was that actually it?
Yeah.
Wow.
I did say this.
Okay. You fit into a very
Whoa.
weird box.
Oh no, that's a rough fall for Diego. That was a nice flat 5. Unfortunately, a bit too short. But yeah, you need judges and you need people to do the job right. So let's say I just tried to do things right.
Okay.
No, and I worked with really amazing people through the year, so it was a pleasure to do it. But it's always good to have a different experience, and I'm really happy to be sitting here with you today, Ryan.
Oh, thank you so much. It's my pleasure. Welcome to my box anytime you want, Freddie White.
Yeah, sitting in containers is part of the job.
Hey, shh. We're out on the beach. Don't tell anyone.
True.
We're on the beach.
Oh, those pounds- those
AJ can know. Like, we are sitting on this beautiful beach. There's like, you know, gorgeous people all around us. Can't really see them, but they're around us.
Yeah.
And
Beautiful people all around us. Palm trees.
yeah,
And
it's 30 degrees. I'm sweating. I'm in a sweat box. I hear the audience. I feel the audience. We're live. We're live. Hey, look, 67.
67. That was still a solid run. Like,
Diego.
it's unfortunate he fell before the end of the run, but Diego definitely has those big tricks. He's one of the biggest dude on the course. He's got lots of power. So same thing. That's the positive aspect of this 3 runs, best run counts, is it gives you a second chance and a third chance. So if you have like a run that you've set up in your mind and you really want to come in to make it the best you can, you have 3 attempts. So I guess that's what Diego is coming in for. And now we got Tomek Prisbedik from Poland skating for USD. With an 80mm wheel setup on his Aeon skates. That's an interesting choice for this type of course. Bigger wheels as well.
What does that mean exactly? I'm kind of like an inline noob. I only started hosting or really paying attention when I became friends with you guys. So, what does 18mm setup mean?
This means Tomek is using 8 wheels, 4 on each skate with 80mm diameter, which is quite big for street skating, for stunt skating. Usually people would set up for anything between 56 till 60mm. That was the standard for many years, and now Tomek is proving that going for bigger wheels can help you on big course or even street. Like, he's got some amazing part on street where he's using like 72mm wheels, which is the same thing. Like,
Yeah.
a huge step forward, I think, for the sport. Like, using bigger wheels on bigger courses only makes sense to me. But then again, there are those French guys to prove me wrong and show that they can skate faster than anyone with smaller wheels. So again, when it comes to technical details, we need AJ to send us a couple comments on the social network. So AJ, if you
hit us up. Hit us up.
Exactly, help me out, brother. If you have the details, send them over.
I mean, I don't know if I have Wi-Fi on this beach. We might be a bit too remote, you know, but...
But this island sure looks beautiful, though.
Oh, it does. I like the added, you know, turf that we have now up in the Rider Lounge. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's
should be an addition everywhere. Okay, Tomek is waiting for his score to come in. He is happy with the run that he got. Let's
That was
see
a really good run indeed.
where it pushes him, actually. So we're waiting. The score to beat is the 86.66 from Nicolas Servi.
Yeah, it's a tough one to beat. So interesting. Like, it's the first time the three judges are working together as well, so it's interesting to see how they cooperate, and like it's hard to know how high they will go. Oh, 63.3, that's a bit disappointing. Okay, let's see, 2 more runs.
We'll have to see 2 more runs. I mean, 1 more run for each of those competitors. But Joe Atkinson from Great Britain, our Cirque du Soleil boy.
Yeah, and again, interesting setup. I'm not even sure what Joe is running on this event, but the blade nerds might want to pay attention. I'm not gonna give any spoilers here, but he's on an interesting custom and is once again delivering like a really solid run. He's using all the cores, he's doing all type of different tricks. You've seen him do some hand plants, some big spins, some wall rides. He just did this stall right there, taking some chances on dangerous tricks. So again, and then some beautiful and fluid moves like this one. I guess that's a good combination of everything, and he's just done with it. That's it. Good run, solid run for Joe. So again, let's see. It's interesting to see how the judges are gonna rank this type of run, which is not so many big tricks, but lots of different tricks with a really interesting use of the cores and unusual lines. Compared to Nicolas Servieux, maybe has like a more classic type of run, but is going really technical and really high as well. It's always been a big debate. You've been doing the FISE for a while now, so you know that Joe is a controversial, not as a person, but his skating is controversial, and you can see here with an 84.3 ranking, is taking 2nd place. That's a really good performance for Joe already, like taking lots of pressure off his shoulders as well.
Then we move to the infamous Roman Abrat.
One of the very top competitors in the sport. The interesting thing is now currently the standing world champion for the Fierce. So he won this title last year in China.
Yeah.
And I'm really interested to see how he performs on the FISE World Series this year. So JEDDAH is not part of the World Series. We're just launching the World Series here, and it's a bonus contest. But it's going to be interesting to see how all these guys perform here, because it's an announcement of things to come for 2018. Oh, and a big misty flip on the front box. And if you want to talk technical details, Romain Abrat is skating on his very first signature skate. So it's got his name on it. And surprisingly enough, he's only skating with 4 wheels down. So they're again proving my technical skills to be absolutely wrong.
But I mean, maybe it's less friction, you know?
I think one of the advantages is you have a little bit less reactivity, but when you're landing a really big trick on a big spin, it might be easier to block the spin, the body rotation, because you go straighter lines. So maybe that's where it helps.
Okay.
But anyway, solid run for Romain as well. I'm sure he's got more for us, but there was there's different strategies, I guess, on this type of course with this type of format. Maybe you can play it safe on the first run or go all in.
And of course, this is still qualification.
It's still qualification. So
we do have the finals tomorrow at 4:35.
Oh, it might be a bit too hot on the beach around that time, eh?
Oh, it might be really hot on the beach.
We might need to take some umbrellas.
To 5:30, I think that's right at sundown. Yeah, it's gonna be sunset.
Nice.
Really nice and pink skies.
Wonderful skies to finish off the day. Some big tricks on the course. Perfect. I'm looking forward to it.
Romain Abrat as well, getting nice score there, 82.33. That puts him into podium contention right there.
3rd place and a safe spot so far. We're not done with all the first runs, but it gives us an indication of who can play it a bit more safe and who really has to push it if they want to make the 8 riders that will be in the finals tomorrow. It's a little bit of pressure because, of course, all these guys want to make it to the finals, and also there's quite a big prize money on the table for this event. Matter of the fact, it helps, you know, like when you're a little tired after this second run and you have to give it all on the third run.
It does. It definitely does help to, you know, consider that the FISE is actually giving reward to so many of the competitors out here. They're paying deeper than any other action sports event ever has. And that's simply because it's trying to repay to the athletes. The athletes are pretty much the sole reason why we get entertainment out of these events, and they're many times traveling around on their own dime.
Solid run for Yuma Benoit, and when they're traveling around, I guess making it to the top 5 for the FISE World Series, for instance, helps you move on to the next contest and so on. So it's a win-win situation, I would say. The FISE helps the riders, and the riders can then dedicate more time to pushing themselves and then become better. Next competition, perform better, land some world firsts. The audience likes it. FISE comes again, and it's a virtuous circle. Everybody wins. So yeah, solid run for Yuma, and the judges awarded him a 79.3, which puts him in 4th place. Interesting, like it's a really solid top 5 so far. And we still got last year's winner. Actually, he's a 2 times FISE World Series champion for 2016 and 17, Julien Kudo from France, from Paris.
Julien Kudo. We see him so often on top up here. See him in a lot of replays as well. Some beautiful highlights from the FISE, and he goes.
Insane thing. Only 4 wheels and all the way up the highest wall ride on the course with a... Oh, see this amplitude. That's what I don't get. Like, don't ask me technical questions, Ryan. I guess this is not my forte. Sometimes it's easier to skate than to speak about skating.
It is.
But damn. Here's really solid run by Julien Kudo as well. As you can see, a lot of spins. He's really comfortable in the air, up in the air. Freaking flyer club. Another spin. 540 transfer on the hip. And that's it. That's it. There were lots of tricks. But then you, my beautiful and lovely viewers, you can also make your own rankings. You don't have to follow what the judges say. They don't know much more than you do, actually. So it's all about what you like to see. If you like spins, for instance, and aerial tricks and variations, then Julien Kudo is definitely one of the very best at this game. And then if you want to see like fluid long lines with creative and unexpected tricks, if you like the surprise element, then you might pick someone different. It's all about your personal preferences. Now you've been following skating for a few years, Ryan.
What are my preferences?
Nah, I'm not sure we can say this on screen, right? But
my preferences, for sure. I think it translates. I can say my preferences on screen if you want.
No, but it's more like, it's not, I'm not asking about the person, but there might be some stuff that you like to see more. For instance, like,
of course.
This one transfer that nobody saw, and then on his final trick someone will do. And
I like the freestyle aspects of freestyle sports. I like when an athlete is able to translate their own language into their skating or into their craft of what they're doing. So when somebody is able to really show me that they have their own identity within their craft, that's when I really enjoy watching them perform. And I think you can notice that on a few riders. Julien Kudo,
definitely
Joe Atkinson,
definitely
Roman Abroad, they all kind of bring something totally different. A Julien Kudo run versus Joe Atkinson run is so diverse, and like you said, Joe is a controversial athlete because he's constantly challenging that norm of like how to ride a course. Things like this really interest me. But as well, I think something that catches me always is speed. If somebody can just hold this insane speed around course, and Scott is as well delivering that.
Yeah, this was a really fast run so far. And you can see how he maintains the speed and still keeps on going. Again, those ramps are so big, they will actually suck your legs dry. after a couple tricks. And Queenie is still going and still has those little freestyle tricks, playing around with the course, big smile on his face. Oh no! I guess that was the surprise element.
At the buzzer, however, so I do not think that'll hurt his score too much, but you have more judging experience than I do. How long were you judging, actually?
FISE?
Yeah.
5 or 6 years?
Whew.
Too long.
That's a heavy one.
Interesting job. Again, first of all, I got to meet you. I got to meet lots of amazing people in the FISE staff, and then as the judging team themselves, like I was lucky enough to work with really amazing people. It's always a collaboration. It's lots of pressure and lots of hard work. So, as with everything in this life, if you're surrounded by the right people, things will go right. And
Touché.
And FISE was always the right combination of people.
Touché, touché.
But yeah, I hear you about personal preferences and basically everyone being able to bring their own flavors. It's always interesting to see a freestyle athlete really bring his own interpretation of what his sport is.
Yeah.
Montre is definitely one of those guys who's pushed the boundaries of the sport and added his very own flavor. You can hear his name becoming a chant. People know it. People know he reacts to that energy.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think I've ever seen Montre skate before. This is my first time, possibly.
On one of those big FISE courses, that's maybe a first. I think we were together at the first and only FISE stop in Andorra a few years back. I think it was there, but it was a mini ramp.
I was in Andorra, but I wasn't hosting the mini ramp contest.
Okay, I think it was part of the mini ramp, but not the finals. And see, that's where Montre really brings his own flavor. He wasn't qualified for the finals,
Yeah.
and he turned into the hype man for the crowd, and it was the best, one of the very best shows I've ever seen at FISE. He had the whole crowd up. And then after that, there was the concert during the after party, and the DJ was playing on stage. And of course, Montre found a way to get on stage, and everybody got to get this extra energy from the man Montre.
Man. Yeah, you can see he really has his own charisma going. I love it.
You cannot not love Montre.
Yeah.
That's impossible. That's a lot of double negations in this sentence, so I struggle with it a bit. But again, this man is a powerhouse. He's one of the most respected, and yeah, it's definitely one of the best things that happened to blading in the past decade, and I will stand by those words.
Beautiful extension of that.
Yeah, that's one of the trademarks. The big Misty flip, the rocket Misty flip.
Love this guy, putting on a show.
He never stops.
56.66, he's down 10th, but he has the biggest smile out of everyone on stage there.
See, that's what I was trying to say. It doesn't matter what the judges say. Look at this guy smile. He's won the contest already. He's won his own contest. Matter of the fact.
Oh, I like that. I really like that attitude, man. Rings of Poise is just something you want to join in on. Okay, Anthony Potier up next with his 50 seconds. And the big frames from Belgium.
Yeah.
Those custom... Where can you find those custom blades? AJ?
No, I'm not sure AJ is in on that one.
All the way around, so good. Like
Yeah.
one of the cleanest. Can I call
Anthony's
it
clean, and he's got
what
the...
do we call the grinding in
That was a
in
backside royale.
Okay.
Backside because he's facing the opposite side of the obstacle, and royale is the body position, I guess. The feet are positioned in the royale. Again, don't blame me for the vocabulary. That's just how it's called. Big 540 on the spine, or illusion 180 on the fun box. That was a surprising move. And yeah, if you want to find those frames, like, the first option is you contact Anthony directly, or you can probably go get them on the flat website. I'm not sure what the URL is, so for this one again, AJ, please send us the link in the comments. But it's all custom made, all Belgium made. It's precision work, and you'd be supporting one of the very best and most interesting athletes in the sport. Anthony really, he raced BMX for many years. He's won a few European championships actually, and is really I guess you could say he translates in the way he skates nowadays. He's got lots of power, whether he skates streets or park. He has his own way of seeing the course. So same thing. It depends on the... I guess for Anthony, it really depends on the setting. Sometimes it will translate really well on the course, and some days it won't work that well. It just depends on the flow he can find. If he finds a way to really race across the course with the fastest line, he will do that, and this will be the best thing you'll see all day. But here comes the leader. Nicolas Servi is back at it. He's in a really comfortable position so far. He's got 2 points on the second. But I don't think he's the kind of guy who's just going to take it easy until the last minute. So let's see. 3, 2, 1. Nicolas dropping in right now. Be prepared for one of the biggest runs you'll see all day. Whoa, 450 topsail, hard spin topsail, hurricane topsail, whatever you want to call this. This was big.
Getting out clean from that.
Yeah, it's surprising. Like most people fell really hard on that one, but I guess that's the youth and the power you get in those legs. Same with that.
Same with that.
How did he save this?
I don't know. That was so low in the transition and way too toe heavy.
Yeah, he's got some really, really strong legs and some really big tricks. And he manages to stay on his feet the whole thing. So maybe this run was a bit sketchier than the first one, but somehow, from an outsider perspective, like being able to save those tricks is sometimes even more impressive than landing them clean. Not sure what the judges will say about this. Same, he ends with a backflip, and that's another really solid run. So I'm not sure if he's gonna improve on his score, but he's definitely in a really safe spot right now. It would be really surprising if he didn't make it to the finals tomorrow. Boom.
Check it out.
He was so far on this one, he could almost transfer to the other side if he pushed. The hard part is thinking that he's actually got like some extra power and is just taking it easy for the first day.
No, not going to improve, so he is going to sit with his first run score there at 86.66.
Yeah, I guess the couple sketchy landings that he saved so well are probably the reason why he got a lower score, just 1 point below, but that might be it. But it shows how easy it is for him. And now we got CJ back on the course.
CJ Wellsmore.
The man from Australia who's but not for much longer actually, because he's going to Thailand.
Oh, Thailand actually. Where's he going? Thailand.
He's going to Bangkok, I think.
Yeah. I don't know why I got it mixed up. Of course.
And he's got his whole life with him. His whole life is in his luggage, and he's moving to Bangkok and setting up his own blade school there. So he's planning a few camps all around Asia, and I really think that's the way to go for blading. We've seen more and more pros turn into coaches, turn into instructors, create their own schools, and giving ways for kids to actually turn this sometimes not so healthy activity into like something that really help them grow as persons, beyond the sport aspect as well. With personalities like CJ, it must be a pleasure to just get on your skates and have fun with your day. Hopefully that made sense.
Oh, this made sense. But yeah, I don't know why I got confused. Beijing and Bangkok. Whoa!
That's it.
I thought for a moment he told me he was going to Beijing, but he's going to Bangkok.
Bangkok, that's for sure.
I'll go visit you in Bangkok for sure. CJ, coming, sleeping on your couch. You guys can come visit me in Berlin. In Dom Wagner. I live in Berlin now.
You're living in Berlin?
Yeah.
I forgot about that part.
I just moved to Berlin.
I was with Dominic last week and he told me, and I guess it didn't register. So I'm moving out of Berlin and you just get into town. Life is unfair sometimes.
Hey, I have a big place you can come check out. So
I'll be there soon. We're working on okay, that's the self promotion moment for this live stream. We are currently working on on a new book for the CAN project along with Dominic.
Yeah?
So we're in the process of finishing up the photo selection and finishing up the text. We're putting all this together within the next few weeks, and hopefully we have something really good to show you in the next few months.
Sounds super fun.
And now we have Diego Guillou back on the course. Big flat. But again, you see, like, he stumbled a little bit on the landing. It was a little bit sketchy, and right away you lose so much speed that it can be like death penalty on such a course. Oh,
Yes.
but this time he stood on his feet for the flat 3, and now he's back on top of the big wall. What's the transfer there? Uh-oh. And that's where you can see how hard it is to even cross the course and get enough speed to be able to make it back on top on the other side. Yeah, it's a really punishing course. Big Mr. Flip to finish things off. I think it was a bit after the buzzer.
Yes, this was that was for sure just for the crowd. He looked quite fatigued actually, like it's very tough to keep up
50
leg stand mat.
50 seconds is a long time.
And not to mention we're in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, well,
It's boiling.
yeah, I mean, the water is really nice right now. Like, dip your toes in there. Like, don't you feel it? It's really enjoyable.
That Red Sea is just so much salt content. I'm floating around. AJ.
But yeah, I guess all those guys are gonna like take a swim right after the finals. Even if it's late in the evening, you can tell it's a hot atmosphere, humid. So it's definitely taking its toll on the bodies of these gentlemen right there. So remember, don't forget to breathe. That's the most important part. If you get the breathing right, your legs will follow. Sounded like I could be a coach, right? Okay, CJ, I'm looking for a job. Like, fly me out to Bangkok. I'll be there with you.
Easy.
And Tomek back from the top of the vert wall.
Tomek, Chris Billick.
Yeah, he's a newcomer on the scene. Like, he wasn't really part of the FISE events until I think last year is when he really started going on every stop, and it really paid off for him. Like, I think he got 6th place on the overall rankings at the end of the year.
Yeah, I think he had a lot of fun as well, which is always nice. You go on something and you really enjoy it.
Yeah, I think Tomek. Let me check. I'm not sure how old he is. Yeah, Tomek is only 21 years old. He's one of the newer guys on this scene as well. And people have been really. He's been out there for a long time. He put out a lot of street content, but on big courses like this, you've never seen too much of him until recently. And that was it. Lots of flips. I guess he practiced. He actually got to skate this show in Germany called Flick Flack, where in the middle of a gigantic rock and roll circus. If you haven't seen it, I would recommend actually going out there. It's a really amazing show, and in the middle of all this, they actually set up a mega ramp.
Really?
Yeah, so they got some guys on blades, some guys on the bikes, performing
So
tricks.
it's like Rock and Ring with bladers in the middle.
That's a good way to sum it up. So Tomek was doing that for a little while, and that's when I feel he got used to like skating bigger ramps, and it definitely showed on his performance at FISE last year. And that's an improvement on his first run, 65.3. So let's see, right now he's in 9th place, so which would mean, as the current standings go, that he would not qualify in the finals. I guess the last round is going to be really intense, because that's when you're going to see people going the extra miles to be sure to join the 8 finalists tomorrow. This guy will hopefully make the finals, because it's always a pleasure to see him on the blades.
Oh, he's already sitting in 2nd place, so I think he's quite comfortable up there with that 84.33, but knowing Joe, he might be upping that one right now.
Yeah, Joe is a competitor, is not the kind of person to settle for 2nd place. Although it's only qualifiers, you know, he just want to give his best every time. Boom. That's one of the really nicest moves. The hand flip 360, it's really, really hard to get right. It's really easy to miss the landing. And Joe places it in the middle of his run like it's no big deal for him. Big wall rides. He's really cruising the course from one side to the other. That's really, really impressive. And 3 seconds to go. And that's it, a little freestyle mini ramp run at the end of his performance. Again, solid performance by Joe.
Carries a ton of speed, and one thing that you can notice, most athletes would drop into their run and do one thing to get the most speed for that second object. Joe drops in and he did one trick and veered completely across course to go hit another hip. And this is just that completely obscure way of dissecting a course and making it his own, which I find very interesting and fun to watch.
See, that's an interesting thing because it's been a big debate in blading in the past few years. Ever since Joe, he popped up on the scene, came out at FISE, it was maybe 4 years ago now, and before the main event for blading, the slopestyle, he was invited for the blading invitational on the BMX park and took everyone by surprise and won it and started the FISE with a big victory that no one was expecting. No one even knew really who he was on the French scene. So ever since, and the next 2 years after that, he won pretty much every single contest in the world, bringing his own flavor for things. And I guess it opened lots of doors, not just for him, but for other skaters to see that there were more possibilities than just going for the basic run and doing what they think is expected of them.
Yes.
And instead, as you said it earlier, bring their own flavor to the thing. Like use a course at their own canvas and do something different. And that's it. Wow, nice amplitude on this one.
Amplitude. Signature skates bringing some extra speed.
Oh, that's a little 3 out and full cab out top one side. That's some really technical stuff there, like a little miss there with the hand. But all in all, Romain is one of those guys that can bring like really big flips, really big tricks all over the course, and then some really technical stuff on the copings, on the slides. He's also known for big disaster tricks. Like he's a really complete rider. Like depends on the course, I guess. But if the things are right, if the stars align, he can pretty much beat anyone in the entire world. And I will also stand by those words, although that might surprise him. I do believe he's one of the best athletes to ever come in rollerblading on the competition circuit in the past few years. He's really amazing, so it just depends on the day, I guess. Like, he doesn't seem too happy. Usually, Como is one of the smiliest guys on the scene.
Yeah.
And didn't seem too pleased with this run. Sometimes, you know, it's really hard. Although you know all your skills, it's really hard to pinpoint what will be the small detail that makes this run outstanding or not.
Exactly. And sometimes, you know, just a little slip up, like not locking in on the coping there. You know, he's still sitting with a very respected score there. Third place, 82.33. It is going to be his first run score that did him justice, but...
Yeah, I guess he's in a safe spot for tomorrow. But as you say, like a small miss can not only cost you points with the judges, but it also costs you a lot of speed. And on this kind of course, it's unforgiving. If you miss out a little bit, it can mess up with your whole run. Wow, that was a big 900 on the fun box right there. Yuma is 19 years old, like Nicolas Servi. I think those two guys are really like the very top up-and-comers on the French competition scene. And they're both really impressive. Lots of power. They are part of this generation that grew up on bigger skate parks, so it's maybe more natural for them than it is for like the slightly older guys. Not that the other guys are much older. I think Julien Pido is only 24 years old. Joe is 25. Yeah, we celebrated his birthday in Budapest last year for FISE, actually. So that's it.
Did we?
I think it was the very last night. So maybe not everyone was there anymore, but that's it. Just to say, if you're 25 in skating, you might be considered old. And those 19 years old guys are just...
If you're 25 in action sports, you're considered old. Oh, that's why I quit long ago.
Hey, I'm 33. I'm gonna turn 34 in a few days, and I won my first contest last year. So
Oh no. When's your birthday?
you never know. 31st of March. So everyone on television listening to us right now, wish me a happy birthday. It'll make me happy.
We will. Like AJ always says, all 5 of you. Thank you.
Yeah, all 5 of you watching, please come out in Brussels. We're gonna have a little celebration.
You're now in Brussels.
Yeah. Moved back there earlier last year. It's gonna be a year I'm out there.
Berlin to Brussels.
Yeah, actually it was Brussels to Berlin, back to Brussels. So who knows? Maybe back to Berlin next, or Barcelona, or Bangkok. Like I'm doing all the B's in the game in the
Okay,
book.
sounds cool. Budapest, Brussels,
Barcelona.
Barcelona, Basel, Bern.
Maybe I'll skip Switzerland. Maybe I'll just go straight for the sun. You know, this beach is too enjoyable. Like I wouldn't want to go back to the mountains in the cold weather.
Yeah.
So again, if you have a job for me in Barcelona or
Bahamas.
Bangkok, oh Bahamas, yeah, why not? We do the next live stream from the beach.
Yeah.
The Bahamas.
Yeah, okay, let's do it. Okay, back to action.
Back to action, and Julien Kido for his second run is sitting in a comfortable 3rd place right now. But I guess he will want to improve on that score just to, you know, there's a bit of mind games, especially in JEDDAH mind tricks. Sorry for that one. That's a really bad play on words. But yeah, the mind games are also a big part of the sport. You know, like how you put pressure on your opponents, and I guess if it's all about oh, camera guy is missing out.
Yeah.
Thanks for looking out, Julian. Thanks for making us look like amateurs. We really appreciate your professionalism. But yeah, mind tricks. So I guess for Julien, for instance, starting his run with this huge backflip drop is a good way to remind the other guys, hey, it's not because I'm in 5th place and maybe taking it a bit more easy for the qualification that you should rule me out for the finals.
Exactly.
And that's a really amazing run he's been pulling together so far.
Super nice amplitude.
Nice
On that
amplitude,
box
and and he's touching like some of the highest obstacles with really technical tricks as well. So it's I didn't finish that sentence right there. I'm too busy looking at Julian's big run, like fakey 7. Oh, and he stands on his feet. But see, even if he's still standing and didn't lose points for the judges, he still lost the speed. So that's really a tricky course to play with. But I would imagine this run is a big improvement on his first one already. That was really impressive, that backflip drop. Like, how many people do you know that start their run with backflips straight into the biggest transition they can
Not
find?
many, and no wonder he wanted the cameraman's attention.
Do you remember his front flip up the...
Yeah, we're
big
almost
wall
in his
ride?
head. It's just, that was insane. This is the largest softbox that we have in Montpellier. It was about 2.5 meters. He does his front
even
flip up
higher.
and all that's in the highlight reel. We see it all the time actually.
Okay.
It's insane.
That was a really nice flat 5 with the double you can grab. And bio 5 transfer. Like, he's landed tricks on every big obstacle in the course. I think that will really score him a really solid score with the judges on this one. We'll see, mind games. Julien is definitely scoring high, not just on the ranking sheets, but also with his opponents that might be reminded that this guy will go really close to hitting his head if he can make the trick that will make the difference.
That's one of those things you just...
83.
Hey, there we go. 3 points better. 83.33. So,
yeah, the top 3.
3.33 improvement.
Comfortable spot for tomorrow. And as Julien said, drink water, it's better. That might be surprising coming from him, but listen, kids, Julien knows better.
Drink water, it is better.
Especially with 35 degrees on this beach. I'd like a couple more ice cubes in my...
Make sure you put some salt in your water because you actually have to have salt still in your system, otherwise you're not hydrating yourself. When your body sweats, it sweats out the salt as well. You need to replenish everything so that you're hydrated. Cool.
Exactly. Hey, you sound like a life coach as well. Maybe we should both go to Bangkok and work for CJ.
Yeah, I could be life coaching for sure. can as well visit me in Bali. I'm going to be doing a festival. And,
Bali, that's another one of those places with
yeah,
a B.
Bali with the B. 21st July, I'm doing my own event over there.
24th July.
21st. Anyways,
Hey,
we'll see if we can do a feed stop with that one.
I'm writing it down. I was actually supposed to fly to Bali last year after the Cayenne tour in Taiwan, and some volcano decided to act up, and I couldn't actually fly on the island. So I promised myself I would go next year.
Yes.
We got Quinny back.
Yes.
Big three again. Cleany is one of those riders that really have this really clean, smooth style, and who can skate the biggest park, like the biggest street obstacle. Is one of the most consistent riders that I know, and one of the nicest human beings that I know. He wouldn't even drink a cow's milk, so that's saying how nice he is. Oh, lacked a bit of the speed on this one. Yeah, you think going vegan is big weak. Look at this guy. Look how strong he skates.
Oh, vegan is not weak, is it?
This guy is the strongest mind, strongest legs, and one of the nicest person to be around. If you ever watch this replay, Quinny, I guess I appreciate your company. All right, that's it for Quinny's run. He didn't reply to my love letter. Oh, sad moment on the beach. I guess I will just have another sip of water.
AJ, you don't write me any love letters. What happened to
the
what
all
used
5
to
of you
be?
behind the screen? Where are our love letters?
All 5 of you?
All 5 of you, write us letters. I guess you can hashtag FISE JEDDAH, FISE Saudi, please. Oh, the hashtags, that's all you. Sorry, I didn't mention before, but hashtag love Ryan, hashtag love Freddy, hashtag love letters.
Hashtag love.
Love. It's something
Hashtag.
we all forget about too often, but love is really important. You, all 5 of you, please remember love is important.
Tomek Prisbillig.
Hashtag.
Montre.
Hashtag go Tomo.
Hashtag.
Too many of them, but hashtag big smile for Montreal Livingstone getting hyped up for his 3rd run. And listen to the crowd once again, like, you know, if this FISE World Series 2018 launch event in Jeddah is important, it's also because it's an open door for extreme sports in Saudi Arabia and in the Middle East in general, and there is no better ambassador than Montre. If you judge the crowd's reaction, is the big winner of the day, and I guess extreme sports in general are the big winners, because he's the kind of personality you want on the forefront of any sport.
Exactly. You know, because action sports is supposed to be, we're all supposed to be freestyle athletes. We're all, in a sense then, somehow supposed to be okay with whatever result that we turn out with in this contest, because contest is just trying to somehow classify what we do as an art form. And so it's about showcasing your individuality and your self-expression. So exactly what you say. It's all about being able to come out here and have a smile on your face and just have a good time and do your thing. And not worry so much about who's on top.
If you look at it the right way, I guess all 11 of those riders are winners today. Like, being here is already an amazing opportunity. It's a great moment for the crowd. It's a great moment for everyone on this park right now. It's a big moment for us on this wonderful beach. And I guess, yeah, like being able to enjoy the simple fact that you are skating or biking or practicing extreme sports on the other side of the planet and sharing the love with a different crowd, people that are not necessarily used to seeing this kind of sports, is already like a big victory for all of us today. So judges, please write this on your rank sheets.
Oh, I love it, man.
Well, if you had never seen Montre, I'm really happy to introduce you to biggest smile on the scene.
Yeah.
The man from the Thou.
Biggest personality in all the action sports disciplines today. Let me tell you.
Yeah, there's quite a handful of colorful personalities on the FISE stops. Every time it's an amazing time because it's a combination of all these crazy individuals all put together for one big party, one big moment that we can share with a different crowd every time. See, this guy never stops. He will tell you he's from the South. He's from Charlotte, North Carolina, so the heat is not a problem for him, but the energy never stops, no matter what. I guess temperature is just no issue for him. The man from Belgium, however, might be struggling with the heat a bit more because it's been freezing. It's been the darkest winter in Belgium for the past 50 years or something. It's been great the entire time, and rainy and snowy and cold.
It's been really nice in Berlin.
I'd like to believe you, but no.
It was sunny. It was. It's been sunny.
Yeah, at least we got the sun.
It's been sunny. It's just it was freezing, but it was sunny.
I guess people in Berlin are just too lazy to go out of their own neighborhoods when it's actually cold. Whoa, like look how fast it's going.
Yeah, insane.
So if I tell you he's like 3 times BMX race Belgium champion, maybe this run will actually help you see that. Big 5, abstract 5 on the fun box. That's a solid run. Everything's clean so far. Lots of power. He's got 20 seconds to go. And now he's going to fakie, which means backward in the weird rollerblading language. And yeah, on such a course, that's probably the hardest thing you can do. If maintaining your speed going forward is hard, imagine what it is when you're actually going backwards and actually have to really focus on every little move you make to not run into a wall or any weird obstacle that would be set up by the FISE area people. Pas mal, pas mal. Eh oui, ma pote, c'était pas mal. It was very good indeed. So let's see, will that bring him to the top 8 riders today and bring him to the finals tomorrow? Let's see. Big smile on his face. Anyway, see, that's one of those guys who's happy to escape the Belgian winter for a few days until he's back to work on Monday. At least he got a little suntan, maybe even a little sunburn, and some nice runs to boot. So what's the score? Tell us. What have you decided, judges? Are we gonna see Anthony in the finals tomorrow? Big smile on his face. This is one of the guys you can definitely be sure you'll have a good time with. Whether you're skating or just having a really nice friendly evening. 66 points, which puts him in 10th place. So that won't be enough to bring him all the way to the finals, but as you can see, it's really tight and it's going to be a battle for 8th place for sure. One of the guys who probably doesn't really have to worry about being in the finals tomorrow is Nicolas Servi, going in for his 3rd and final run. He's currently ranked in 1st place, so it must be a satisfying feeling knowing that you're dropping in just for the show pretty much. At this point of the day, just making, whoa. Well, it's just for the show, but it's big tricks and is not pulling around. That's a big flat 3, all the way to the top of the wall. Like if we're ranking the skaters solely in amplitude today, I guess Nicolas Servi would be in 1st place as well.
Definitely is charging the hardest out of the gate, I think.
He gets this one every time. That's 2.5 rotations on the step up, and he keeps on going. And as you can see, he's doing tricks on every single obstacle, big tricks, big spins, and he never stops going. That's it on the buzzer, and we have a last backflip for the road, and I think it's the first time he actually falls all day. That was a really nice performance by Nicolas Servi, 19 years old from Dijon.
Okay, Danu. I got you, Danu.
And we're talking about older skaters slowly building up school, becoming coaches, but at 19 years of age, Nicolas is already coaching the younger kids in his inline skating club in Dijon. Boom, this incredible 900 spin on the step up. You can tell how confident he is on those tricks, like every single one of them, every single try. He even improved on his previous score, 87.5, sitting really comfortably in first place with 2.5 points on Joe Atkinson, who's ranked second.
Okay, so right now.
Okay, and now we are getting ready for CJ.
CJ Wellsmore has been competing on contests ever since he was 11 years old. He was at the Asian X Games when he was just barely old enough to walk. And this guy, all right, make some space for CJ. This guy is ready, sporting the Arsena t-shirt. And here we go for CJ.
Woo! Using a bit of a different line coming in.
Whoa, and there's a big 900 on the fun box as well. He's got the amplitude, he's got the surprise factor, which is probably one of my favorite things. He's one of those riders you never know what to expect, and that's really enjoyable. You know, when you can be surprised any moment because CJ might have an idea and it's just go on the impulse. See this little breakdance move? Who would have suspected? Yet is here performing this dance routine for the crowd. You're gonna love CJ. It was really good seeing him in Europe last year in Budapest. It was a nice performance, and it was really enjoyable to be in Hungary with this lovely fella.
I had a really good time as well the last night with.
Oh, I probably have to wait until we're off air to tell us about, to tell you about the last night I spent with CJ in Budapest.
I think
You might have heard like some people from the FISE were actually on the same return flight than TJ, and they found us at the airport in a really altered state. It was the funniest night. If you ever wish that CJ Wellsmore was your flight attendant, that was one of those nights. And I can tell that would be the funniest flight you're ever gonna take in your life.
Yeah, super good times with you guys. I think you're some of the most fun people to enjoy any moments with after a good FISE event.
And who wouldn't want to join CJ for a dance party? Look at those moves. So yeah, he's keeping his second run as for his final score, 78. He's currently sitting in 6th place, and I think he's almost guaranteed a spot in the finals. So I guess you can all appreciate CJ's dance move tomorrow again. And now we have Diego Guillou from Switzerland going for his final run. Whoa, disaster backside royale on the biggest wall he could find. That was really impressive. That was a really sketchy obstacles to start your run with. Really risky, because if you stick, you're probably done for the whole run. It's gonna be really hard to build upon that if you fall. And he's still going for it, still going solid.
Not the cleanest way to make it up, but
no, but he's got he's got the power to get up there, and is back with a little fakey line on the quarter bowl, using this part of the course that he hasn't really taken advantage of so far. It's a more complete run than the previous one, especially with this nice little move on the front box. And I guess time's up. All right, Diego with a big smile on his face too. Yeah, but you can see, and Diego is one of those guys. He does lots of sport. Is one of the healthiest guys on the course today, most probably. And still, 50 seconds, going for 50 seconds on such big tricks, while remaining focused, while your body's like slowly getting exhausted, one trick after the other. That gives you a better idea of the performance these guys are pulling together for you guys today, all 5 of you. Well, if it's only 5 of you behind the screen, I'm really happy to see the crowd in Jeddah is much bigger. And if you listen to those guys on the camera, you can tell the crowd is really enjoying it. Final event of the day, and it's the final runs. And we have Tomek. Tomo for pro. Let's hear it for Tomek. That's it. All instrumentals. Really good hip-hop selection. And here we go. Oh, now we got the lyrics. All right. I thought the DJs were not allowed. That's it, Ryan. If you want to perform, we got some dance move by CJ, and you can be the MC for that tune. Boom, fakey 7, and still going. Still going. Damn, that's a lot of trick. If you put them all together, that's a really solid line. It's got a bit of everything, big transfers, quite a few spins, and then like quick technical moves like this. It might not. I guess it depends on what you like to see, but if you're in for the big flips and then you see this kind of move, it might not seem that impressive. But just so you know, it's actually really hard, and it's I guess blading is a really intricate sport when it comes to trick. Like all the sports you see on the course today, there are some of the smaller stuff that actually are the most complicated. As you see, as soon as you miss one small thing, you might lose the whole speed you need for your run. So going for this kind of more specialized tricks is a way to please everyone, like bigger tricks for the crowd maybe, and some really technical stuff for the judges. I guess that was a really complete run for Tomek right there. Big 7. And I must say, those skates look really good.
I like the bare wheels.
I think he gives like a slightly different aesthetic to the skate as a whole. I personally ride a 68 actually, Richie wheel on the same type of skate, but slightly smaller. It's actually the perfect combination for street and park skating. Hey Jay, I hope I didn't say anything too stupid. Please leave us a comment.
AJ, are you even listening? Like,
I guess he's probably in China right now, so hopefully the time schedule is not too hard for him. Or he might be missing out on the best beach party of the year. Sorry, AJ. I guess he's going to be in Hiroshima with you in just a few weeks, right? Is he coming?
I have no idea who's going to be with me in Hiroshima. Could be you, could be AJ, could be Joe.
Most definitely not me. Unfortunately, I'd love to see Japan, but I guess AJ will take over.
You think so?
I think so.
Yeah? You never know. You never know.
All
You
right.
never know.
All right, FISE people, if you're actually watching this this live stream and you're looking for an announcer for the next event.
Joe Atkinson for his 3rd and final attempt on course here.
And is going fast, and is definitely one of those guys you're going to see in Hiroshima as well.
You know, funny fact, Joe has been on the Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah, he was helping create the latest show, but surprisingly enough, he wasn't on inline skates, he was on ice skates for that show, performing tricks and stunts on ice skates.
It's about the same.
Maybe the tricks themselves, but the setup from what Joe explained was really different. Like you have to set up plastic ramps on ice, which means the transition going from the ice onto the plastic is sketchy.
Insane.
Yeah, so really nice performance.
I've done a lot of ice skating in my life, but ice hockey in Canadian, you know.
Yeah, I guess I probably did that twice in my entire life because I'm French.
But going from ice to plastic, when he was saying that to me, that blew my mind.
Yeah,
because you can't make the ramps out of ice, and so they had plastic ramps into ice. It was just so strange.
Especially when you're mentally trying to focus on the trick you're just about to do, and as in a split second you also have to adjust to this whole new element under your feet. and still throw that stunt that you're going for. That's I'd be really interested to see this show. Yep. So in that sense, yeah, I'd be really keen on seeing this creation that Joe helped make a reality.
I'd be very interested in that as well.
All right, so Joe, that's his best run so far, 86 points. So he's only 1.5 point behind Nicolas Sevi. So that promises to be really interesting in the finals tomorrow. 1.5 point is nothing, like everything can happen. Just one trick missed at the wrong moment and everything can change. So that's it, and this is another of the guys you will see in the finals tomorrow. He hasn't really been ice skating, but this guy's been traveling all over South America promoting skating to huge crowds, and he's been enjoying it a lot. It's for someone who grew up like traveling a lot for contests, I think it's been a whole new experience that opened.
I was wondering why he was so tanned.
Yeah, I think he just flew back actually. He was recently, if we're talking about shows and Cirque du Soleil, along with Julien Cudeau and a few other bladers, he was performing in Las Vegas just a couple of weeks ago for charity
Event?
Charity, that's a weird word. Charity. For a charity show that was organized by the One Drop Foundation, and the show itself was set up by Cirque du Soleil. So those two guys were dressed as furry little animals performing tricks on skates as well.
Yeah, whatever works. It's fun.
Yeah, I guess for any, especially if you understand like how much circus actually demands as a like the physical activity, all those guys have been training their entire life. So for bladers that come from a really different background to come into the circus environment, I mean, if you talk about Joe, for instance, I think it really blew his mind to see how much dedication actually went into creating a show, and the physical aspect of it as well, like how much training actually goes on behind the scene.
Yeah.
And that's another solid run for Romain. Maybe not his best tonight. Let's see what the judges say.
Coming in.
Right, so his first run is gonna be the best score he has tonight. He has a solid 5th place. He's gonna be comfortable. Romain has really been struggling with the jet lag. He slept all afternoon yesterday because he couldn't literally stand up without a big headache, and then slept only 4 hours last night. So I guess he still has a little, he needs a little time to adjust, but I guess he will be in full form tomorrow for the big finals. And another guy from Gap de Jong, 19 years old, Yuma Baudouin, who is the big 900. Big wall ride, but see, like he's turning, like he's landing backwards and turning right back to a forward stance to hit the wall ride, and I guess that's part of the small details that the judges might give him a harsher note for. Whereas when he lands fakey and stays fakey, the line is a lot more fluid. You don't have these unnecessary like turnaround movements, and looks, I guess, in my opinion, a lot better. And some technical tricks on the cupping up there. Boom. Whoa. Right on the edge of that course. He's been really using every inches of the course for that run. Unfortunately, didn't gap out for his final trick. So that's it for Yuma.
It looks like a painful slide out earlier today in practice.
Yeah? I mean, he's young, his body can take the abuse, I guess.
Oh, and I just been informed that this is actually going to be the last ride of the day. Julien Cudeau is not taking his 3rd and final run. His ankle, he has hurt his ankle. I mean, he's been running with a hurt ankle for quite a while, so I don't know if this is a re-injury, but Julien Coudeau, who is sitting in third place, is actually not going to be finishing. So Yuma, after his score, his scores come in here, 83 even. So nice, puts himself in fourth place. That's a good push up from where he was sitting before. And that's going to do it so far. Then that's going to be all the riders.
Pretty solid performance by everyone. I would imagine that Julien, I didn't see any rough landing during his run, so I hope he's just like preserving himself for tomorrow. Like he came injured and he's been trying to keep a healthy body. I guess most of the riders here actually are really impatient for the next event, the first official FISE World Series event in Hiroshima in just a couple of weeks. So most of them are also really cautious with the body, the professional athlete, in the sense that they know that it's their work tool and they need it to be functioning. So I would hope that Julien will be riding tomorrow. So results, do we have the full results here?
Yeah, this is okay. Yeah. So a lot of French domination up here. Nicolas Yavi in first place there. Joe Atkinson trailing behind. Julien Coudeau in third place. Yuma Boudouin in fourth. Roman Abrat in fifth. And CJ Wellsmore running out the top six. Second page here, Diego Gouloud in seventh place there. Scott Quinn in eighth. Montré, we were super happy to see him. I love seeing that guy. Such great energy, but in ninth place down there. Tomek Przybylek in 10th place and Anthony Potier in 11th place, respectively. Thanks to all the competitors for coming out here for the inline. It's been an amazing event so far. That was the qualifications for the Roller Freestyle Park Pro. And this is the FISE launch event in JEDDAH. If you guys want to stay tuned for more action, we're going to have a full day of packed schedules tomorrow, starting 3 p.m. time here. Let's take a look exactly and see what this looks like. But check it out, live day number 2 of events here on the schedule for JEDDAH. 3 p.m. BMX Freestyle Flatland Pro Finals, followed by 4:30 p.m. Roller Freestyle Park Pro Finals. It's going to be the finals of the event you just saw. And then the final event, 7 p.m. BMX Freestyle Park Pro Finals. And that's going to round off all our events here in JEDDAH. Make sure you guys stay tuned. Follow us on social media. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. Check us out, FISE.tv. Watch us on the FISE World Series channel. Make sure that you guys hashtag all your posts, hashtag FISE World Series, hashtag FWS JEDDAH. Make sure you follow myself, Ryan Meyer, and Freddie White. On behalf of myself and you, Freddie, thank you so much for joining us. Any last words you want to say for the youngins watching online?
Hashtag love. The most important. Don't forget love. Love is important.
Love, intent, and everything that makes us whole. Thank you so much. Live from JEDDAH. Take care and see you tomorrow.